Well, welcome to another episode of repairs to this poor old Triumph 2500 Mark 1. Now, recently I did battle with the handbrake on this car to try and get the handbrake to work, to get it through a registration check. And anyway, on one of the brake shoes was just about worn away, where the others seemed quite good. Anyway, I decided to buy a new set of brake shoes, and in the hope that that will sort of fix the handbrake problem. I did get it working well enough, and it did pass its check, its test, but nevertheless I put some new ones on. They will probably see this car out. Alright, let's get on with it. I don't remember if I said last time when I was doing this car's all Mark II 2500 Triumph. I think the diff is still Mark 1, but everything else is Mark II, including these rear brakes. Now, my old man had another one of these things, and even though it was mostly Mark II, one area where it wasn't was the rear brakes. I tell you what, I wish I'd never changed them. The older brakes were a manually adjusted arrangement, and okay, you had to do that, but my goodness, they worked well. This Mark II setup, I can't seem to get to work. It's a automatic adjustment arrangement, and I don't know, it just doesn't work as well to me. But everyone to their own cup of tea, I suppose. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Now, even though they don't have asbestos in brakes anymore, I still don't like this dust stuff. I know it's probably a bit late for me. I used to do a lot of motor carting in the old days in a Mini. Now, you need to do handbrake turns in motor carters, and so the day before an event I would take the rear brakes drum off the back of the Mini and file the brake shoes to roughen them up. And of course they were asbestos back then, and it was sort of like file them and then you go now at the point in time I was doing this, there was no warnings on the packaging, there was nothing, you know. Yeah, so the die is cast, as they say. So whatever this dust is here is probably too late for me, but let's get rid of it nevertheless. This stuff's called brake clean. Alrighty then, that's as clean as it needs to be, I think. But before we do anything on one of these brake shoes, there's a doohickey that is part of the automatic adjusting setup. That needs to be transferred across to this brake shoe. So let's get on with that. It's held on with various circlips and doohickeys, and I'm sure I'm not going to have the right tools to do it, but let's try without getting back up again, eh? Oh, don't do that. Alright, that is how it all goes together. This sort of toothed doohickey is how the adjustment works, and I find it to be an awful thing, but of course I know of others that think it's great, so it's all a bit relative to how you deal with the world, I suppose. I might just open the bleed valve and push those wheel cylinders in a bit, because these have got more meat on them and you've got to get the shoes in a bit more, and I think that might be where I'll have a battle if I don't do that. So let's again see if I've got the appropriate spanner, and let's try and do that. Alright, let's see if I can get this back together. It's probably me, but my goodness, I really do dislike these Mark II rear brakes. Oh my goodness. Like I said, give me dolly brakes, TR7 brakes, bloody Mark I brakes any day of the week. These things, what the hell is going on here? Well, that's the springs and doohickeys and everything on. Just got to get the brake drum on, and that might be another challenge. If I wasn't trying to scale back my working on cars, I would actively try and find a Mark I rear brake setup. But then, when you think about it, when did I last have these apart other than a few months ago to get it ready for its rego check? Before that it would have been years and years. So maybe it all doesn't really matter in the scheme of things, because I might not ever pull these apart again. Okay, now it's done. But the likelihood of it staying done is beyond me. There's a little lever that goes into that adjusting spliney arrangement, but nothing keeps it there, and it's in there now, but geez, the first decent bump you hit, I'm not sure it's going to still be there. I must be missing something in terms of my understanding of it. Anyway, it's back together now. We'll go with it. Let's see if a brake drum will go on there now. Well, that went easier than I thought it would. I was told you take the cable up and that should adjust it out, but it's not. That lever's come off again, just for no reason. In my view, and I'm probably wrong. I suspect that's why the handbrakes never worked on this car, and not to, you know, might just hold it on the level sort of thing. I don't know. Anyway, the brakes will work in terms of the foot brake, and it's been like this for 30 years, so we'll leave it the way it is, I think, because I don't think mucking around with it's going to do any good at all. Well, there's not too many jobs. In fact, these old Triumph 2500s are dead easy to work on. There's next to no job that I would say was hard. Not like the Dolly or the XVII. Just about everything is, you can get spanners on, you can get it off. But I tell you what, these Mark II brakes that are on it, oh, they're awful. Anyway, the new shoes are on. I strongly suspect the handbrake is going to be absolutely no better, if not worse. The automatic adjustment arrangement, I can't make head nor tail of. I've done the best I can. Got new shoes. Handbrake cables are hooked up again, and it's all back, and I'm sure the brakes will work foot brake wise. But the handbrake, well. Anyway, let's move on. The next job is to pull that rear sway bar off. So let's get on with that. Well, here we have the rear sway bar. Now I need to take it off because over there you might be able to see where it's a bit on the bent side, or the bracket that holds it on. Alright, let's get on with it. Well, it's time to get this rear sway bar off. It's been on here a very long time. I don't remember ever taking it off since it went on there. Now, it's a Selby sway bar made in the 60s or 70s. The old man bought it second hand. It's got rubber bushes here that are totally buggered. Oh my goodness. And so I'm taking it off because one of the brackets has been bent. I suspect it hit bottom somewhere along the way. And I need to straighten that, and it's pretty mucky and it needs new bushes, and So a bit of a coat of paint and some new bushes if I can find them. And we'll sort of put it back on again. I'm surprised this thing hasn't had more hits over the years. It sort of does hang down a bit. It's not a bad design really. It's sort of better than the front one in terms of the way it's bracketed on and what have you. Still a bit agricultural, but yeah, it's not too bad. I'm hopeful of bending that one back because I'm pretty sure it's a mild steel bolt. Don't ask me why I'm sure of that, but I feel like it is, and I think I'll just be able to bend it back. It should be fine. But no guarantees on that one. Well, both brackets are bent, and looks like this one is too. These are the brackets that hold the sway bar on. I forgot they had bushes on them as well, so I need to take them off to replace the bushes. And that one looks pretty straight, but the other one over here is looking pretty bent as well. So that's 3 of the 4 brackets are bent, so I'll need to muck around with them as well. As you can see, that's got a bit of a bend in it. Alrighty then. That's those 2 brackets off and the sway bar off. They're going to need a fair old clean up. And this one here is a bit on the bent side. That looks like a bit of continuous threaded rod, which is mild steel. So I'll have a go at bending that straight and just see if it doesn't fatigue on me. Well, there's this bracket here is bent, so I'm just going to try and straighten it without taking it off and see how that goes. I'm not quite sure how, but we'll give it a go. Well, that went better than I thought it would. Obviously a mild steel bit of threaded rod, so it bends fairly easily. All good. This will make no sense really at all, considering this is no great restoration project. This is a repair it project. And when I worked, I had an annual ritual, if you like. At Christmas time, when I had my 4 weeks holiday, I'd pretty well spend that 4 weeks doing major service on the cars. This would be fixing things that I'd been putting off, or it'd be fish oiling, and I would generally paint up under the mudguards. and this was an annual thing, and I just worked on each car in turn. Well, since retiring I haven't, and we're due to a whole lot of other issues, I haven't really kept up that routine. And well, up under the guards it's not too bad. It doesn't desperately need painting, but I'm going to. And well, the springs are looking really daggy, and I just can't help myself. They're not hard to get out. I'm just going to drop the springs out, give them a fresh coat of paint, and yeah, put it back together again. Seeing I'm in the area doing the sway bar, I might as well do the springs. If I paint up under the guards, as it's got fairly new shocks on it, it'll all be nice and black with daggy springs, so let's do that. Yeah, it's amazing how yeah, you don't appreciate how much of a noisy environment you live in until you start making videos. There's chainsaws going, there's a garbage truck making noise, there's a lawnmower, there's whippersnippers, there's parrots squawking. Oh my goodness. Well, it's time to put the rear springs back in, all nice and coated with a new coat of paint. It's all a bit, yeah, look pretty stuff. It's not really going to matter that much, but it's nice to tart it up every now and then. Well, it's pretty easy to put the springs in these things, and so there you have it, the spring is in. I've tarred up underneath the guards here with a coat of paint, so it all looks very nice and pretty. First dirt road I go drive down, it probably won't, but it preserves it for now. So I'll just do the other side and then get on with the sway bar. Well, it's time to get this rear sway bar back on. I've straightened out these brackets the best I can. They don't have to be perfect. Got some new bushes, they're nylethane. And so let's get on with it. Oh, that's one of them on. It's only on finger tight for now till I actually get the sway bar and put that on. So let's get the next one on. Well, it's time to put the actual sway bar on. I've got the brackets on. I'm just going to put this on pretty loosely and then try and do it all up. These things notoriously don't want to line up with everything, if you know what I mean. Yeah, well, let's try and get this rear sway bar back on and just see how we go here. It's amazing how some things that have come off often don't want to go back on, especially things like this aftermarket sort of sway bar, new bushes, and they don't want to line up, but we'll give it a go and see, eh? This sway bar's been on for 30 odd years, I think, and when I first put it on I thought, geez, that's vulnerable. Yet in all that time, that's the first time I've had to straighten it out because it's taken a hit. It's amazing, really, when you consider, you know, some of the roads this car goes on, that it hasn't copped it before. The other strange thing about this is there's a bend in this, just here. And these sway bars are made of spring steel, so how the hell did it get bent? Yeah, I didn't make any attempt to straighten it, because it won't, you know. You could try, but it just bend back. I don't understand that. Well, that's the sway bar on. It's all bolted up reasonably well. These bushes, the sway bar's too thick for the hole in the bush. I tried to drill it out, but it didn't work. So there's a little gap, but it's not that big. It's fine, and it's all tightened up and very firm and all good. I think that we'll call that the sway bar on. All joy and happiness, eh? Well, that's about it for this episode. The rear brake shoes are done, the sway bar bracket's been fixed, it's got new bushes on it and a bit of a fresh coat of paint. So some progress of actually putting the car back together rather than pulling it apart. So tune in, same duck time, same duck channel, for more mechanical mayhem on this poor old Triumph, when you'll see me working on the overdrive unit and hopefully getting that on the gearbox and the whole gearbox ready to go back in the car. Bye for now.